Imagine standing before an opportunity that could change your life, something you've dreamed of for so long. Yet, instead of stepping forward, fear whispers, "What if I fail? What will others think?" Suddenly, the path ahead feels unreachable. Fear is like an invisible chain, silently holding you back, stopping you from pursuing your true potential. Fear is natural, a survival mechanism that once helped our ancestors avoid danger. But in today's world, it no longer protects us from real threats. Instead, it creates barriers in our minds. It convinces us to wait for the perfect moment, a moment that never comes. As a result, we hesitate, miss opportunities, and let life slip by. This is where Stoicism brings hope. Epictetus once said, "Men are not disturbed by things but by the views they take of them." Fear doesn't exist in the challenges we face. It lies in how we perceive them. Stoicism doesn't ask us to ignore fear. Instead, it teaches us to understand it, live alongside it, and refuse to let it control our actions. What would your life look like if fear no longer held you back? Courage doesn't mean being fearless. It means choosing to act despite fear. If this resonates with you, follow our channel for more Stoic lessons. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What fear are you ready to overcome today? Let's face it together and move toward the life you've always dreamed of. Understanding the nature of fear. To overcome fear, we must first understand its nature. Fear is not inherently bad. It's a natural, primal response designed to keep us safe. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors relied on fear to survive threats like predators or natural disasters. Fear heightened their senses, prepared their bodies to fight or flee, and saved lives. But in today's world, where we are rarely confronted with physical danger, fear has shifted its focus. Instead of protecting us, it now builds mental barriers, stopping us from taking risks or pursuing what truly matters. Think about this. How often have you said no to an opportunity because you were afraid of failing? How many times have you hesitated to speak your mind because you feared judgment? While fear may feel like a shield, it often keeps us from stepping into our full potential. To understand fear is to recognize this dual nature. It is both a protective mechanism and a thief of possibilities. The misguided power of fear. Fear has a way of magnifying the unknown, making challenges seem larger than they truly are. Imagine you have a presentation at work. The fear of messing up can consume you, painting vivid images of stuttering, forgetting your words, or being met with silence. Yet, how many times have you faced a situation like this, only to realize afterward that it wasn't as terrifying as you had imagined? This is the deceptive power of fear. It thrives on uncertainty and feeds on our imagination. Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, reminds us, what scares us is not the event itself, but how we interpret it. Fear convinces us to avoid risks, making us believe that failure is catastrophic, when, in reality, it's often a stepping stone to growth. The role of perception. At the heart of fear lies perception. Two people can face the same situation, but experience entirely different levels of fear based on how they view it. For example, imagine two friends hiking a steep mountain trail. One sees the challenge as an exciting adventure. The other sees only the potential to fall and get hurt. The situation is the same, but their reactions differ because of their perceptions. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is within our control, our thoughts and actions, while letting go of what isn't, such as the outcomes of our efforts or other people's opinions. When we change how we perceive fear, we take away its power. Instead of viewing fear as a stop sign, we can see it as a signal that we're stepping into something meaningful. Fear and the comfort zone. Fear loves the comfort zone, the safe, familiar space where risks are minimal and uncertainty is avoided. But the comfort zone is also where dreams stagnate. Nothing grows in comfort. Growth happens at the edges, where we face discomfort and uncertainty. For instance, imagine you've always dreamed of starting a business, but fear holds you back. You tell yourself you'll start when you have more experience, more savings, or more confidence. Years pass, and the dream remains a dream because fear has kept you anchored to your comfort zone. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, reminds us, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. Fear is not a signal to retreat, but an invitation to grow. Each step outside the comfort zone, no matter how small, expands your world and weakens fear's grip. Fear and failure. 1. Of fear's strongest allies is the fear of failure. We avoid taking risks because we worry about making mistakes or looking foolish. But what if failure isn't something to fear, but something to embrace? Stoicism views failure not as a defeat, but as a teacher. Every failure provides valuable lessons and opportunities to grow stronger. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's perseverance in the face of repeated failures led to the invention of the light bulb, a breakthrough that changed the world. Imagine if he had let fear stop him after his first attempt. The Stoics teach us that failure is not the end, but part of the journey. Each setback is a chance to reflect, adapt, and try again. The true failure, they argue, is not in falling short, but in giving up out of fear. Fear and self-doubt. Another form of fear is self-doubt, the belief that we are not good enough, smart enough, or capable enough to succeed. This fear often stems from comparing ourselves to others, a habit that Stoicism strongly advises against. Epictetus wrote, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This doesn't mean we should aim for failure, but rather accept that growth requires vulnerability. We won't always get things right on the first try, and that's okay. Instead of comparing yourself to others, compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Progress is a personal journey, and the only person you need to surpass is your past self. Overcoming fear with action. The antidote to fear is not avoidance, but action. Each small step forward chips away at fear's hold. If public speaking terrifies you, start by speaking in a small group. If fear of failure holds you back from pursuing a dream, take one small action today, whether it's writing down your plan or reaching out to someone for advice. Stoicism emphasizes progress over perfection. You don't need to eliminate fear to act, you simply need to take the first step. Over time, each small victory builds confidence and makes fear seem less daunting. Living with fear, not against it. Fear will never disappear completely, and that's okay. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act despite it. Stoicism teaches us to coexist with fear, acknowledging its presence without letting it dictate our actions. The next time fear whispers in your ear, ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Can I handle it? You'll often find that the answer is yes. Fear loses its power when you face it head-on and realize it's not as formidable as it seems. What fear is holding you back today? Write it down, break it into manageable parts, and take one small step forward. Share your journey in the comments below and let's inspire one another to rise above fear. Remember, fear is not a wall, it's a door. And on the other side of that door lies the life you've always wanted. Don't let fear stop you. Step forward and discover the strength you've had all along. Taking action to overcome fear. Understanding the nature of fear is the first step, but the real key to breaking free from its chains lies in action. Stoicism teaches us, courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act despite it. You don't need to eliminate fear to move forward, you simply need to learn how to act alongside it. Identify your fear. You can't conquer what you don't understand. Take the time to sit down and write out the fears holding you back. Be specific. What exactly are you afraid of failing at? What are you worried might happen if things go wrong? Are you afraid of judgment, rejection, or losing your current sense of safety? When you put your fears into words, they stop feeling vague. They become something you can analyze and tackle. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen and can I handle it? More often than not, you'll realize that your fears are not as overwhelming as they seem. Break down your fear. Fear often feels overwhelming because we see it as one large, insurmountable obstacle. If you're afraid of public speaking, the thought of addressing a large audience might feel paralyzing. Instead, break it into smaller steps. Start by speaking in front of close friends. Then, present your ideas in a small meeting. Gradually, build the confidence to address larger crowds. These small steps reduce the pressure and allow you to build courage through each incremental action. Act even when you're not ready. You will never feel fully ready. Waiting for the perfect moment is just fear's way of holding you back. Stoicism emphasizes that progress is more important than perfection. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory over fear. Remember Epictetus's wisdom. It's not events themselves that hurt us, but our reaction to them. It doesn't matter if your action isn't flawless. What matters is that you've chosen to act. Redefine failure. Shift your perspective on failure. Failure is not the end, it's part of the journey. Marcus Aurelius said, "The obstacle in the path becomes the path." Each failure is a lesson, and each stumble is an opportunity to rise stronger. Remember, no one achieves greatness without facing failure. Every setback takes you closer to your goal. See failure as a teacher that reveals lessons success cannot. Maintain discipline and focus. Fear often grows when we lack discipline or allow distractions to derail us. Stoicism teaches that discipline is key to overcoming challenges. Focus on what you can control, your actions, thoughts, and attitudes. Try this. Set small daily goals and commit to achieving them. Eliminate distractions like excessive social media or unproductive habits. Use Stoic questions to keep perspective. Is this within my control? Face your fear head on. Don't avoid fear, look directly at it. Try this simple exercise. Visualize the thing you're afraid of happening. Ask yourself, if this happens, how will I handle it? Plan solutions for each scenario, from worst to best outcomes. This exercise prepares your mind and reduces the power of fear. Once you've faced it mentally, it becomes far less intimidating in reality. Build confidence through small wins. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's the result of daily actions. Each time you take a small step forward and overcome fear, you build confidence. Celebrate these victories. Speaking up in a meeting, trying something new that once scared you, getting through a day without letting fear control you. These small wins create a foundation that makes larger challenges seem manageable. Learn from those who have succeeded. The people you admire aren't fearless. They've simply learned to act despite fear. Find inspiration in their stories. Steve Jobs took countless risks to revolutionize technology. Oprah Winfrey overcame a difficult childhood to become a global icon of inspiration. They faced fear just like you, but they chose to act. Remember, fear is part of life. You will never completely eliminate fear, and that's okay. Stoicism teaches that courage is about acting in spite of fear. When you learn to live alongside fear, you'll realize it's not as terrifying as it seems. Ask yourself, if I weren't afraid, what would I do? Start with one small action and let it open the door to bigger opportunities. Fear is not an enemy you need to defeat, but a companion you need to understand. Use action to gradually overcome it. What's one thing you can do today to face your fear? Share it in the comments, and together we can move forward, breaking through barriers and living life to its fullest. Don't let fear control you. Step forward, because the life you dream of is waiting. Transforming fear into strength. Fear is often seen as an obstacle, but what if we could reframe it as an opportunity? Stoicism teaches us that challenges, including fear, are not meant to be avoided. They are meant to be faced and transformed into sources of strength. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this beautifully. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By changing our perspective, fear can become a tool for personal growth and empowerment. Reframing fear as growth. The first step in transforming fear is to change how we view it. Instead of seeing fear as something to run from, Stoicism invites us to see it as a signal that we are about to grow. Fear arises when we step into the unknown or take on challenges outside our comfort zone, precisely the places where transformation happens. For example, If you fear taking on a new leadership role, it's a sign you're entering a space where you can develop new skills and expand your capabilities. If you fear speaking in public, it's an indication that mastering this skill could unlock new opportunities. Each time you feel fear, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How will this challenge make me stronger? This mindset shift can turn fear from a barrier into a doorway. Using fear to clarify priorities. Fear often highlights what matters most to us. If you fear losing a relationship, it may be because that connection is deeply important to you. If you fear failing at a goal, it's likely because that goal aligns with your values and aspirations. Instead of letting fear paralyze you, use it as a guide to clarify your priorities. Ask yourself, why does this scare me? What does this fear reveal about what I care about? By understanding the root of your fear, you can focus on what truly matters and take intentional steps to protect and nurture it. Cultivating resilience. Through fear, Stoicism teaches that resilience, the ability to endure and grow stronger in the face of adversity, is a skill that can be developed. Fear provides the perfect opportunity to build this skill. Each time you face fear and act anyway, you strengthen your mental and emotional fortitude. Epictetus said, "Difficulties are things that show a person what they are." Facing fear is like training a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger you become. Over time, you'll find that situations that once terrified you now feel manageable, even empowering. Developing mindfulness to manage fear. One of the most powerful tools for transforming fear is mindfulness, a practice deeply aligned with Stoic philosophy. Mindfulness allows you to observe your fear without being consumed by it. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can respond thoughtfully and intentionally. When fear arises, try this simple exercise. Pause and breathe. Take a few deep breaths to ground yourself in the present moment. Name the fear. Say to yourself, I am feeling afraid because... Separate the facts from the story. Identify what is real and what your mind is exaggerating. Choose your response. Decide on one small, deliberate action you can take to move forward. This process helps you regain control over your thoughts and prevents fear from dictating your actions. Letting go of control. Many fears stem from our desire to control outcomes. We want to ensure success, avoid failure, and protect ourselves from uncertainty. However, Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control external events, only our thoughts and actions. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By letting go of the need to control everything, we free ourselves from unnecessary anxiety. Focus on what you can control. Your effort, your attitude, your willingness to learn and grow. When you let go of outcomes, fear loses its grip because it thrives on uncertainty about what might happen. Using fear to inspire others. When you act despite fear, you not only transform yourself, but also inspire those around you. People are drawn to courage. It's a quality that ignites hope and motivation. Imagine sharing your story of overcoming fear with someone who is struggling. Your experience could be the catalyst that helps them take their first step. By facing fear, you become a role model, showing others that it's possible to live boldly and authentically. Practicing gratitude. Amidst fear. Gratitude might seem like an unusual response to fear, but it's a powerful way to shift your mindset. When you feel fear, pause to reflect on what you're grateful for. The opportunity to grow. The strength you've already built. The support of people who believe in you. Gratitude reminds you that, despite your fear, you have much to be thankful for. It creates a sense of abundance and perspective, helping to neutralize fear's intensity. Creating a daily ritual to face fear. To transform fear into strength, make it a habit. Create a daily ritual that encourages you to face small fears and celebrate progress. For example, morning reflection. Start your day by identifying one fear you want to face. Action step. Take one small step to address that fear. Evening gratitude. Reflect on your progress and celebrate your courage. These rituals not only build resilience but also create a sense of purpose and momentum. Fear as a catalyst for growth. Fear is not your enemy, it's your teacher. By reframing it as an opportunity, you can transform it into a source of strength, clarity, and courage. Each time you face fear, you grow closer to the best version of yourself. Now, it's your turn. What fear will you face today? Share your story in the comments below and let's inspire each other to transform fear into power. Remember, fear is not the end. It's the beginning of something extraordinary. Take that step and watch as your life begins to change. Living a life beyond fear. Transforming fear into strength is an essential step, but true freedom comes from integrating these lessons into your daily life. Living beyond fear doesn't mean you'll never feel afraid again. It means fear no longer holds you back. Stoicism teaches that a life well lived is one where fear serves as a guide, not a jailer. A life where you act according to your values, regardless of uncertainty. Define your values. To live a life beyond fear, start by identifying what truly matters to you. When your actions are aligned with your core values, fear begins to lose its power. Ask yourself, what do I stand for? What kind of person do I want to be? What impact do I want to leave on the world? For example, if courage and authenticity are among your values, then acting despite fear becomes a reflection of who you are. Living by your values provides a compass that helps you navigate challenges and make decisions, even in the face of fear. Take responsibility for your life. Epictetus emphasized, "It is not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters." Living beyond fear requires taking full responsibility for your life. When fear arises, it's easy to blame external circumstances, the economy, other people, or bad luck. But Stoicism reminds us that we always have control over our reactions. Instead of avoiding challenges, own your choices. When you take responsibility, you reclaim power over your life. Embrace impermanence. One of the greatest sources of fear is the unknown. We fear losing what we have or not achieving what we desire. Stoicism teaches us to embrace impermanence, recognizing that everything in life is fleeting. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This isn't a morbid perspective. It's a call to live fully and intentionally. When you accept that nothing is guaranteed, you stop wasting time on fear and start making the most of the present moment. Cultivate a stoic mindset for resilience. Living beyond fear requires a resilient mindset. Build this mindset by applying these stoic practices daily. Negative visualization. Imagine the worst-case scenario and prepare yourself mentally. This doesn't mean dwelling on negativity, but training your mind to face challenges calmly. Focus on what you can control. Let go of outcomes you can't influence. Instead, channel your energy into your actions and mindset. Daily reflection. Spend time each day evaluating your actions. Did fear guide your choices, or did you act according to your values? Over time, these practices strengthen your ability to remain steady and grounded, no matter what life throws your way. Act with courage, not perfection. Many people let fear hold them back because they're waiting for the perfect time or the perfect plan. But perfection is an illusion. Courage doesn't require perfect conditions. It simply requires a willingness to act. Think about this. Every great achievement in history began with someone who dared to act, despite their fear. They didn't wait for perfection. They took the first step and adjusted along the way. As the Stoics remind us, progress is more valuable than perfection. Build meaningful connections. Living beyond fear also means building relationships based on mutual respect, trust, and authenticity. Fear often isolates us, convincing us to hide our true selves or avoid vulnerability. Instead, embrace connections that uplift and support you. Share your fears with trusted friends or mentors who can offer perspective and encouragement. Remember, courage inspires courage. When you surround yourself with people who live boldly, their example will motivate you to do the same. Redefine success. A life beyond fear is not about chasing material wealth or external validation. Stoicism teaches that true success comes from living with integrity, pursuing wisdom, and acting in alignment with your values. Ask yourself, am I living a life true to myself? Am I pursuing goals that reflect my deepest aspirations, or am I driven by fear of failure or judgment? When you define success on your own terms, fear of not measuring up to others' standards fades away. Teach others to overcome fear. The greatest gift of living beyond fear is inspiring others to do the same. Your courage can become a beacon of hope for those around you. Share your journey, your lessons, and your victories, big or small. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." By living boldly, you show others that it's possible to face fear and thrive. Celebrate the journey. Living beyond fear is not a destination, it's a journey. There will still be moments when fear arises, but each time you face it, you grow stronger. Celebrate your progress and remind yourself of how far you've come. Take a moment to reflect. What fears have you already conquered? How has facing those fears improved your life? Gratitude for your growth will fuel your courage to continue. Your life, your legacy. Living beyond fear means stepping into a life of purpose, courage, and freedom. It's about choosing to act according to your values regardless of uncertainty. Fear will still knock at your door, but it no longer needs to dictate your path. So, what's the next step for you? What fear will you face today? Share your story in the comments below and let's inspire one another to live boldly. Remember, every small act of courage moves you closer to the life you're meant to live. Fear is a teacher, not a ruler. Learn from it, grow beyond it, and create a life that's truly yours. Part 6. Embracing freedom and living fully. Breaking free from fear is not just about overcoming challenges, it's about stepping into a life of true freedom. This freedom isn't defined by the absence of fear, but by the ability to act in alignment with your values and desires, regardless of uncertainty. When you embrace freedom, you stop being a prisoner of fear and start living with purpose, resilience, and joy. Redefine what freedom means to you. True freedom isn't about living without constraints or responsibilities. It's about living authentically. Stoicism teaches us that freedom begins within. When we take control of our thoughts, emotions, and actions, ask yourself, what does a free life look like for me? What would I do if fear weren't holding me back? Your answers will provide a roadmap to a life where your decisions are guided by purpose, not by fear or external expectations. Accept the uncertainty of life. Freedom means embracing the unknown. Fear often stems from our desire to control outcomes, but Stoicism reminds us that much of life is beyond our control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you accept that uncertainty is a natural part of life, you free yourself from the anxiety of trying to control what cannot be controlled. Focus on what you can influence, your actions, mindset, and response to challenges, and let go of the rest. Find joy in the present moment. Fear often keeps us trapped in the future, worrying about what might happen. But freedom lies in the present. The Stoics taught that life's greatest richness is found in the here and now. Practice gratitude for the small, meaningful moments in your day. A heartfelt conversation with a loved one. The beauty of a sunrise or a quiet walk. The satisfaction of completing a task aligned with your goals. By focusing on the present, you release fear's hold and embrace the fullness of life. Strengthen your inner fortress. Freedom also means being unshaken by external pressures. Epictetus taught, "No one can harm you without your permission." This inner strength comes from developing a mindset that values integrity, resilience, and wisdom over fleeting opinions or external validation. To build your inner fortress, reflect daily on what truly matters to you. Practice mindfulness to remain grounded during stressful moments. Remember that your worth isn't defined by others' judgments, but by how true you are to yourself. Say yes to opportunities. Living freely means welcoming opportunities that align with your values, even if they come with risks. Fear often convinces us to say no out of caution, but freedom requires the courage to say yes. The next time an opportunity arises, whether it's a new job, a personal goal, or a chance to connect with someone, Ask yourself, will I regret not taking this chance? What could I gain from stepping into this? Say yes to life and let each opportunity expand your horizons. Release the fear of judgment. A life of freedom is one where you no longer seek approval from others. Stoicism teaches that other people's opinions are outside our control and therefore shouldn't dictate our choices. Seneca wrote, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears." This isn't pessimism, but a reminder that life is too short to waste on worrying about what others think. Act according to your values and let the opinions of others fade into the background to inspire others to embrace freedom. Your journey to living beyond fear can serve as a powerful inspiration to others. When you choose courage over comfort and action over hesitation, you show others that it's possible to break free from fear. Share your experiences, both the struggles and triumphs. Encourage others to take their first steps toward freedom. Remember, your courage has the potential to ignite change in the lives of those around you. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Living freely doesn't mean you'll never stumble or feel fear again. It means you'll keep moving forward, even when the path is uncertain. Celebrate every step, no matter how small. Each time you confront fear, you're building a foundation for a stronger, freer version of yourself. Reflect on how far you've come and use that momentum to fuel your journey ahead. Create a legacy of freedom. Living beyond fear is about more than just your personal growth. It's about creating a life and legacy that reflect your deepest values. Consider how your choices today will shape the story of your life. What will people remember about how you lived? How will your courage inspire future generations? By living freely, you leave behind a legacy of resilience, purpose, and authenticity, a testament to the power of breaking free from fear. A life without regrets. A life beyond fear is a life without regrets. It's a life where you seize opportunities, embrace uncertainty, and act with purpose. Fear may still knock on your door, but it no longer has the power to hold you back. So, what will you do today to take one step closer to freedom? Share your next bold move in the comments below. Together, let's build a community of fearless individuals committed to living fully and authentically. Freedom is not a destination, it's a daily choice. Choose courage, choose purpose, choose freedom. True, freedom doesn't come from controlling external circumstances. It comes from mastering your own thoughts and actions. Life will always be unpredictable, filled with challenges and uncertainties. But Stoicism teaches us that we don't have to be at the mercy of these storms. By controlling our mindset, we can find peace, strength, and clarity even in chaos. Remember, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the choice to act despite it. Each step you take, no matter how small, is a declaration that fear will not control you. Every action grounded in purpose, rather than hesitation, is a step toward the life you truly deserve. Now, it's your turn. What fear is holding you back? What step can you take today to reclaim your freedom? Share your story in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Your journey might inspire someone else to take their first step. If you found this message meaningful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more lessons in resilience and growth. Together, let's build a community of fearless individuals committed to living boldly. Your freedom starts today. Take that first step.